1 minute warning!
To the goofball army out there, hi at the families, tell them to get to the next room, tell them to go to your neighbors, because we got goofball news to go over, and it might get crazy.
Typically does, guys. If this is your first episode ever, you got like 30 seconds before we start, so not enough time to go to the bathroom, but go get a drink, because trust me, you're probably going to need it there. In the meantime, the rest, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. That way you know about future episodes as well, guys. Buckle your seatbelts if you haven't already. Make sure your tray is in the upright position here, guys, because we are just about ready to get going. And like, oof.
Guys, if you want a crazy ride going forward, a bunch of nonsense, but all nothing but the truth about the Giants, listen in, buckle in, tell a friend.
Let's go.
And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob, and let's talk about some Thursday night football, and let's talk about our defense thus far this year.
We got a ton to talk about, because some Giants fans, the bye week is supposed to be a break, but tonight, it's a reckoning. It's a reckoning here. We're handing out honest, no-spin report cards here about every key defender on this roster, and asking a pretty brutal question there. Can this unit actually carry its weight the rest of the year? Or is it the anchor holding the team back? Then we're going to swing around the league here for week 14 preview and figure out which games could flip the playoff race on its head. Heads up, it won't be for the Giants, because, you know, we're on the bye week and there's no chance of getting the playoffs anyway. But it is what it is. Yeah. Let's get it started. Alrighty, so before we begin even with anything, we got to give a special shout out here, because I see Deb in the comments section there, and I didn't notice it before the episode yesterday because I didn't get a chance to check our email after we were done recording there. But we got to give a little thank you there to Deb, who bought us a couple of beers there on buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Deb, appreciate you as always. She's
Deb.
How many years has it been now that she's been watching the show like this? It's crazy to think about it like that. Like, you know, like we've literally been doing this now for years. And yeah, she is the OG of the comment section, that's for sure.
Appreciate you always.
Seriously, we do. All right, guys, let's get into our defensive report card here, because we did the offense yesterday, and the offense wasn't offensive for once, actually, in a lot of ways. But the defense is offensive, if that makes sense now. Sounds weird to say, but yeah. So let's start with the biggest name up front, Dexter Lawrence, who went from actually wrecking games every single Sunday to a season where the box score is looking a little shockingly quiet here. Is this still an elite anchor playing through pain, or the first sign the Giants may have already seen the best of sexy Dexy here?
There's a lot of sexy coming, guys. There's a lot of sexy coming.
It's not. Listen, he's not as sexy this year as he's been in years past. Let's call it what it is here. So this year, 13 games, 24 tackles, half a sack, just half a sack. 2 tackles for loss, 7 QB hits, 1 interception, which was still like one of the highlights of the season. That interception, him trying to run for a touchdown. He wanted that touchdown so bad.
So bad.
73.4 PFF grade. So they got 129 defensive tackles they've put on their rankings. He's ranked 17th. So still good. Still great. But look at last year, 12 games. So just about, like, you're talking one less game. So reality, this year's stats should already be better than last year, because he's played in one more game. So 44 tackles compared to 24 this year. 9 sacks compared to half a sack. 8 tackles for loss compared to 2. 16 QB hits compared to 7. The only thing he's got the edge on is the 1 interception. Like, I don't think we're paying Dexter Lawrence for the interceptions, though. I think that's safe to say. And I honestly, you got to wonder, is the elbow injury from last year still bothering him? Because remember, he was wearing the brace for the beginning part of the season there. Or is there an issue we're not aware of? What do you think, Rob?
I don't think either, to be honest. Like maybe there's an underlying condition that we don't know about. I think he's lined up against better talent and with a bad scheme all year. I don't think he's cooked. I don't think he's out of it. I think he has plenty of time to be that sexy Dex dancing all he wants. He was a hot commodity last year, obviously the year before as well. Everyone knows to double cover sexy Dex, which allows Brian Burns to get open, or not open, if you will, but like allows him to do his job against some pressure. So, yeah, is he playing? Does his stats look as great? No, but like he's still playing pretty tough football out there, and it's kind of hard with the scheme that he's had so far this year. So yeah. I don't think it's an injury. It's more of a coaching thing for me.
Yeah, and I still think the injury is bothering him. I do, and I see Anthony in the comments. They took the brace off of the Lions game and went back on for the Patriots game. Something to think about. I do think there's an issue there. I really do, and I think at the same point that you look at it as he is still playing better. And you know what? I love to do the math, so I'm doing the math here for you guys. 129 defensive tackles that have given a PFF grade. And again, PFF's not the end all, but it's just something you can look at that goes beyond just stats. It's kind of like the eye test stats as best you can do. You know what I mean? Though that's all subjective. But they ranked him 17th out of 129. That means he's better than 87% of the defensive tackles out there. So I wouldn't say, like I see Marcus saying he's cooked in the comments there. I don't know if he's cooked. I do think he's having issues. I think there's a combination of three issues going on. I think the injury is still causing issues for him. I really do. I don't think he's as good in shape as he used to be. And to be honest, that's probably his frustration with the Giants and them not playing well, because who wouldn't be frustrated with everything going on with the Giants, you know? Like, that's just, it is what it is. They've been bad for years, and he's been a part of that his whole NFL career. And we've wasted the best nose tackle in all football. And then you throw in the fact, like you said, Rob, he's not being used right. He's not being put at the nose tackle position. He's not being put where he succeeded at for the last couple of years. And I think, honestly, it's like 1, 2, 3. That's the three things I'm looking at there going, do I think I really know what Dexter Lawrence is or has been this season? But that is a steep drop-off, guys. And
it is.
I'm not going to say I'm scared, but it's in the back of my mind going, was that the prime years of Dexter Lawrence already? Do we waste it?
I don't think so. I think this year has been for all of our defense. We're going to go through this a lot tonight. They've been misused, except for one guy, and I think it's because he's newer to the team, and he just Spider-Man his way into different pressures.
Yeah, I mean, and since obviously most people realize you're talking about Brian Burns, I can let the cat out of the bag with that one there. But Burns even said point blank that, he spent a lot of time with Dexter Lawrence specifically to go ahead and do, some learning from him as far as what he does to make his moves and stuff like that, which is weird because totally completely different body type, obviously, one being, an edge rusher, one being a nose tackle, but they both want to get to the quarterback, and he's kind of learned from him. And I actually give kudos to Dexter Lawrence on that leadership part of it. We don't have a lot of leaders in this team, guys. And Dexter Lawrence, let me be very frank with you. He's not the guy who's going to running up and down the sidelines, trying to pump people up and stuff. That's not his personality. And it's funny because he's so outgoing in so many ways, you kind of expect that. You know what I mean? But that's not his personality. It's not who he is. He gave a subtle shout, a subtle, like, kind of a nod to saying Abdul Carter publicly, like, you got to straighten your shit. But he's not the guy that's going to, at least out of the public. Who knows how he is in the locker room? We're not in there, obviously. But he's not that guy that's running up and down the sidelines trying to pump people up. I hate to just use him because he's the quarterback, but like a Jackson Dart does. You see Jackson Dart do it. You saw Jameis even do it. But we don't have that guy in defense, and it shows. There's a whole separate topic there, but I'm just saying, kudos to him for what he does within his own personality fit, if that makes sense. You know?
Yeah, he's your goofy big brother. He's not so much of the leader when it comes. That's my take of it.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot where I give him more slack than I'm going to give most players in this on this roster because of what he's done the last couple of years, and because I know what he's dealing with. And as even the people listen, part of me says this is messed up, and part of me says maybe they're right to a certain degree. But like we all know that he, I guess his wife. I'm not sure if he's married. Even to be honest, I haven't looked at that part of it there, but they had their first kids this offseason. He's a brand new daddy. And people have talked about that even of, saying, okay, well, maybe that's what it is. And I just looked it up. Yes, he's married. It wasn't sure. Didn't want to say for sure. But he had his first kid this offseason. Obviously, she, not he, but people have talked about that as well. Is he not sleeping right? Is that kind of taking it away? And I think it's a little weird. I don't know. It's a normal thing we all deal with in our life that have people that have kids. You have the kid, you still got to work, especially as the guy. I mean, call it what it is, but I mean, more likely if one person doesn't go to work for a while, it's the woman. That's just kind of the way culture is. But
that part also doesn't matter. If your kid wakes up in the middle of the night, or if
that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a messed up question at the same time. You know what I mean?
It's about it's a valid question because it doesn't matter. I don't know how heavy a sleeper you are. I don't know how heavy a sleeper.
I got sleep apnea really bad. I'm not very. I'm sleeping Darth Vader style. So yeah, I'm not the heaviest sleeper.
So when your wife gets out of bed, do you not wake up, or do you not start moving around a little bit? If your wife's giving up multiple times, well, there's a lot of people to do. And I'm the person. If there's too much movement in the bed, I start waking up. I may not get out of bed, or I may roll over, but I'm not getting the right sleep.
Yeah. And you might not even realize it too. It's part of it.
Yeah. Well, you got to take care of the baby.
No, but I'm saying if he's taking care of the baby at night, you might not even realize. Who knows? But again, I don't know. I don't know how valid that is. I mean, it's some of it potentially, but I don't know.
It could be.
Now,
but I'm sure he's the guy, especially away games. That's something I want to look at the tape too, because I'm sure if he's traveling away,
that's
in a hotel.
That is a very good point to bring up. Checking out his away versus his home stats.
Then you can bring that.
I will say all of his interceptions, I believe, has been at home games. I had to.
That's him. That's the one's no, you got to go take care of this. Nope, that's you.
Real quick here, because Anthony had a question there. Before he does, we got to give him a shout out here. Anthony with the $9.99 super chat there, man. Again, appreciate your support as always. So good to us. Where's the actual question that he said?
So right after that,
I have a question. Do you think he really fell off hard? Or do you think that teams have learned to play against him? I don't think teams have learned to play against him. I really don't. Because if it was 1 year of success, then yes. He's had 3 years of success leading up to this year.
And kind of like what I said before, he's not lining up the same way when he was the most successful. No. So you're not using him properly.
Yeah, no.
That's like saying, I'm going to take the school bus and I'm going to drive around the track, see how fast you go. And you get upset because you're not driving a car 120 miles an hour.
Yeah. Like I said, we're just going to have to see. I mean, I honestly think this is going to be just a question we have in the back of our mind that we're not going to know until next year. And we'll have a little bit of a hint of it, I think, this next month to kind of see what happens with, now a new defensive coordinator. And you already saw a difference in the scheme last week. The results weren't necessarily much better, but you saw a difference in the scheme. And we're going to see. You're going to see if maybe we do see a little bit of a different Dexter Lawrence the next month or so. We'll find out. We got 4 more weeks to go. So, all right. Let's get next up here.
Go on.
The nacho man. Rakeem Nunez-Roches is supposed to be the steady veteran presence up front. But with modest production and a bottom third PFF grade, we have to ask, is he stabilizing the defense? Or is solid veteran actually hurting the unit ceiling? And listen, we know we haven't been very high on his play in the field. Again, great guy. I actually think he is a good locker room guy. Because he's kind of like, he's got a personality kind of like Jameis, actually. He really does. Like, and again, I don't pretend to know him great, but I met him one time when he played for the Bucs, and he was, like I said, fun-loving guy, respectful, went up to every single individual in the room, and he wasn't even there to press thing. Like, I worked at an auto shop, and he happened to be getting his car worked on. Like, that was the scenario. And like I said, it's really, really nice. And like I said, a really jovial guy, a nice guy, joking around, had a lot of fun. So I do think he's good in the locker room. He's been very disappointing from what I expected him to be as far as a signing for us there. And to be honest, this you might be able to say has been his best year. And it's not a great year. But you may be able to say that. I mean, 9 games he's played, 5 starts, 23 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits. He's got a 51.2 PFF grade, 99th out of 129 defensive tackles. So again, not great. But like I said, I think it's just what he is now at this point. And it's probably his last year with the Giants, guys.
Probably. I'll have to say so.
He was somebody we thought was going to get cut this offseason, to be honest, just because of the contract. But, they kept him on there because of the fact that we have nobody else. This was
no one else to pick up a bunch of young guys.
He's $5 million against the cap this year, guys.
Yeah, he is El Gonzo.
And we would have saved 3.6 by cutting him. The problem is you would have had to pay probably a couple $1 million to get somebody to replace him. So did you really save money?
At least I get it. Got Nacho.
I get it. It was a bad signing. And again, I wish it had worked out because he was, like I said, he's a really nice guy. It's just not a great pickup for us. And it's the last few weeks of the Nacho era.
Yeah. Get your nachos in now. Because next year, we're getting
like
ready.
when you leave the cheese on too long and the chips get all soggy. That's what we're kind of left with this degree. Next up, we got Robertson-Harris, RRH himself here. Let's see, brings size, snaps, veteran presence, but a 51.2 PFF grade. Definitely been limited in some plays there. Is he doing enough to justify his role there? Or is he just another big body in the defensive line that's played pretty badly this season, guys? 13 games in, 22 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 5 QB hits. And he's got really the same exact PFF grade, guys. 51.2, same as Nacho. So again, tied for 99th at 129. Not great.
That's so good.
Again, solid veteran. You could do worse. Don't get me wrong. You could do worse. But this is a guy we're counting on for valuable starting snaps on this team. And he's playing like you kind of expect a backup to. And not even a top tier backup, just a regular old backup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, not a great signing. And this is part of the problem I run into is I feel like there's a lot of players that I'm like, this was a bad fit here. And
it was just trying to jam whatever we could between the talent we had.
Yeah, and he's also on the books next year, by the way, guys. $5.5 million cap hit, but we can save $3 million. So I would expect him to be gone as well. I mean, that's crazy. We're going to save freaking almost $10 million just by cutting Robertson-Harris Jr. Roy Robertson-Harris. I don't know.
I was about to say wrong team, bro.
Like Dexter Lawrence. Roy Robertson-Harris. Could be a completely different name. And
Roger Rabbit's gone after this year.
I was trying to look at his over the cap and multitask, and apparently I just can't multitask today. It is what it is. But we're going to save almost $10 million. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
cut him out.
I mean, reality is going to be $7 million basically, but I'm just saying that's crazy. Everybody say we don't have no money next year. And, I've been stressing the fact that Deb with the comment there. We are going to have the dead cap space gone from DJ. We're not projected to have a ton of room necessarily. I've heard $15 to $20 million in cap space, but we have so many guys that we can and should cut. This is not going to be a problem, guys. Plus, there's plenty of restructures we can do. We don't need to settle for people that, quite frankly, are getting overpaid because Joe Shane's a crappy GM. I said it.
Remember he said he's not going to kick the can down the road?
No, and he hasn't kicked the can down the road. Let me be very clear. I actually will say that about him. He has not kicked the can down the road. And that's why we're in the position where we don't have a ton of cap space because he didn't backload stuff too much like that. So now you can move that money and backload it on things like Andrew Thomas, Brian Burns, stuff like that. You can do that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about the cap. We'll be fine. We'll be absolutely
I'm
fine.
not either.
We got one more tackle to talk about, guys, here. And I will say his name right even. Darius Alexander came in as an older rookie with some big expectations and a rocky start. Now he's flashing a little more and more. We have to ask, is this the beginning of a late blooming difference maker? Or are we seeing the limits of his ceiling already? Because you got to remember, guys, this guy's 25 years old. He's not your average rookie. To put this in perspective, Malik Neighbors is 3 years younger than him.
Yeah, I love those COVID years, tricks, and whatever they did.
Yeah. 12 games so far, 2 starts, 13 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 in the one game, obviously. It's the Packers game, I believe. 3 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits, and a 40.8 PFF grade, guys. Really bad, but he looked horrendous to start the season. Remember, he got hurt in training camp. There's a lot of people already down on him. I do think he's improved as the game is going on. Now, I don't have the PFF description to see what they did game by game for him there, but I really think that this is a scenario where you got a guy who's improved at least. Will he be better next year? Will he continue to get a little better? The problem is, the scary thing is he's going to be 29 years old when his rookie deal runs out.
Which is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Like, he's in his prime, and he's still trying to learn to be a player in the NFL right now. So that's my only issue I have with him in the long term. I really think the Giants should put him, hopefully, as more of a bottom-end guy in their rotation, and then see if he can climb the ranks next year. The problem is, we need so many defensive linemen right now that he might not get to that tier,
I hold back. I don't. I think he's jumping the gun to say you saw the prime because he's 25 and it's rookie.
No. Hold on. Hold on. I didn't say that. What I said is he's in his prime years and he's still trying to learn to be an NFL player. That's all I'm saying. So it's kind of like he's at the height where he should be peak physicalness. And then at the same point, he's trying to learn. And if it takes him a couple of years to learn, hypothetically, now he's like 27. He's reaching the kind of the
his prime has been
the beginning of his peak.
Yeah, his prime has been shortened by
COVID.
By being a 25-year rookie. So you would hope, since he's physically where he should be at, you're not going to get much better from where he's at. There's little modifications, but maybe he jumps into that peak a little faster than like a rookie at 20, 22 would do.
I think it'll be 2-3 years, honestly, before we know what we have in him. But let's be honest, you can say that pretty much any rookie. But to me, it's the fact that he's coming from such a small school in Toledo. Like, he's not hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
You throw the injury in there, which, remember, you and I talked about this a lot in the training camp where people are down on him when he said, hey, he got injured. So you got to wait. You got to see what he is. Get him healthy, then figure out what he is. So we got him healthy. Now we're starting to see a little bit here. We're starting to see a little bit. So let's see what he is next year. And then we'll figure out from there. So
yeah.
Are you booing Kelsey in the comments section here?
No.
Wow. Couch. It's the couch. The couch for him. All right. Let's get into the beast here. Because let's be honest here, guys. There's a lot of question marks in the edge rusher room, but Brian Burns has been the one guy playing like a superstar, racking up sacks, tackles for loss every single week. The real question is the Giants, why are they wasting his dominant season? He could easily be a foundation for the next great Giants defense here in New York. But
as it should.
It's a waste. This is like the equivalent of like what we had with Dexter Lawrence the last couple of years, guys. 13 games, 56 tackles, 13 sacks. And it's not just the sacks. 18 tackles for loss, 22 QB hits, 7 passes deflected. And I'm only including passes deflected, by the way, for him for edge rushers, because he's gotten his hands up and gotten his hands on the ball a lot of times. Been very good at that.
Yes.
The crazy thing is, PFF, 73.6, just 30th out of 114 edge rushers. Now, I know, again, edge rushers is more than just sacks, but I think that's ridiculously low for where he should be at that point. He should be much higher up that chain than 30. He's been absolutely elite this season. Number 2 in sacks overall is obviously the first thing you mentioned when you talk about him, but just overall, the way he plays, he's been good against the run. He's setting the edge at that point. You know, like I feel like for some reason, maybe it's because the Giants are so crappy, he's not getting the love he deserves what he's doing this year. Flat out.
He's definitely in some love. I mean,
nobody
deserves that.
Someone needs to hug him. I feel bad.
He needs a big hug. A spider hug.
All 8 arms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just hope he keeps it up next year and we don't, you know, and we get, that's what the Brian Burns we get going forward is this kind of player. You know, I'm hoping it's not just his career year and we wasted it.
Yeah.
This is the potential people kept saying he was for how many years, both with us and with Carolina. He's finally reached it.
All the terrible coaching, by the way.
Yes. Yes. Imagine what a good scheme and good coaching staff would do. Imagine an actual coach that blitzed. Imagine. You know, like the wasted of it all. But listen, as Giant fans, we appreciate the effort Brian Burns is putting through. Flat out. He's been just, like I said, really, really amazing this year. And one of the few joys to watch as a Giants fan this season. Probably the only joy on defense. Scary part.
Sadly.
Yeah. So, all right. Next up. It's time to be honest about Kayvon Thibodeaux. It's year 3. And people are on track to be an elite edge. He's settling into that good but not great starter. Got some durability issues. So let's put under the microscope here. 10 games this season. 25 tackles. 2.5 sacks. 5 tackles for loss. 9 QB hits. 66 even PFF scores. 58th out of 114 edge rushers. Guys, we've said it on this show plenty of times. And I still hold the same opinion that I've always had on Kayvon Thibodeaux. He's above average. He's not elite. What he is. He may not get to the quarterback and sack him all the time, but he does cause disruption at times. He may not be the best run stopper in the world, but he sets the edge decent, above average, good. That's what he is. The biggest issue is where we drafted him. Let's be honest. That's the issue people have with him. It's where we drafted him. Because you got a guy who we got literally top 5 in the draft. And that's what you're expecting is elite, top 5.
Yeah. So put this scenario in your head, right? So
I wear a hat, so you can't do that.
Put this scenario in your hat.
Put this in your pipe and smoke it.
We're upset because where we drafted him, right? We were just talking about Cap earlier.
Well, we're not upset,
right?
By the way. We're not. Others are.
So to say, Giants get rid of him, how much is he going to make when he leaves the Giants? Compared to how much he's making now. Compared to how much he's making now.
Yeah, he just because of how high the the edge, contracts got last year, he's $20 to $30 million right now.
Yeah. How much is he making right now?
Right now, he's making probably $5.
So for an above average quarterback, above average edge, $5 million. Is that like? Can we take away where we drafted him? And
actually,
we have.
I'm sorry, I'm off. He's making $10 million this year. He'll make 15 next. Still a steal.
Yeah.
I forgot. Fifth overall pick. So yeah, it's gonna be higher than most. So, but like I said, you're still getting him for 2/3 to even to half, depending on what he would get next year. You know what I mean? Now, I could see where the Giants would say, let's trade him away because we can't go ahead and keep him. I could see that as a potential because of the fact they drafted Abdul Carter, which we'll get to him in a moment here. But I'm telling you guys right now, Kayvon Thibodeaux is the second best edge rusher we have. He is the second best edge rusher we have.
As of right now.
Yes. Now, again, you got the durability concerns. You got the fact that he's playing above average, not elite, which upsets people because he's the 5th overall pick. I'm telling you right now, if he became a free agent, there's 31 of the teams that'd be interested in him.
Without a
31.
Doubt. That's what I'm trying to say to the Giants fans that are upset that he was 5th overall and he needs to be elite. Like, every time you draft someone elite, like how many times is the first overall pick doesn't make it in the NFL? We have one on the team. We didn't draft him, but we have one that's on the team.
Yeah.
And we're pretty happy to have him on the team.
Yep. And you can make the case that Thibodeaux is better than Burns at setting the edge and some of the things he does. You're not ridiculous. I think they're kind of equal as far as run stopping. Like they're both decent. Yeah. And again, I know people get a lot of crap over that because they go, "Oh, look at the run defense. The run defense is horrible." Yeah, the run defense is horrible because people run up the middle and they run right through the defensive line, not the edge, right up the middle. Watch the games; they're getting 5-6 yards just from running straight in the A gap.
Pretty much. To the left, to the right, just a smidge, doesn't matter.
Yeah, or look last year when Kayvon was hurt again, and Abdul Carter went in. I'm not Abdul Carter. I'm sorry. Azeez Ojulari went in, and look how bad that run defense got then. They just ran to his side every single time. Granted, he's a horrible edge rushing run stopper, but it is what it is. Like I said, I feel bad for Kayvon to a certain degree. I feel like the hate's just not there, and partially it's because of where he's drafted. Partially, to be honest, is his attitude too. He tries to act like he's a star the way he acts. I feel like to a certain degree, but he's got that star personality, is what it is. You know what I mean? And it just kind of comes off that way.
I feel like he's taking a step. He does, and I feel like he's taken a little bit of a step back from that this year.
He has to a certain degree, that's for sure. But I feel like everybody kind of has because nobody wants to talk about how bad the team is.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, what do you do? Sound excited and happy? I mean, you're 2 wins. The Jets have more wins than you. And he's a smart football player. He's done smart moves his whole career. Like I said, I don't get the hate sometimes for him. I really don't. And I think Giants fans, if we lose him, will realize how good he was.
Or he's going to play the same way on another team.
Or better.
They're like, oh, just maybe slightly better. But like, oh, how come we could play like that for the Giants? Well, he did. We took him for granted.
We did. So next up, Abdul Carter. Listen, look, I mentioned Abdul Carter and we lost Rob. That's how frustrated he is with Abdul Carter because Abdul Carter's pressures, they've been there and show up on tape, guys. But the box score definitely screams every time he plays. Where are the plays? If you mix in the maturity questions, missed tackles, is he a future star who just needs polish or a talented tease that this defense just can't rely on? Listen, 13 games in, 2 stars, 31 tackles, 1.5 sacks. Remember, all this talk in the preseason here, he's going to be a sack machine. He's going to get double-digit sacks. Next, Micah Parsons, 1.5 sacks. 1 tackle for loss. That's the bigger issue I have that no one's talking about. 1 tackle for loss, 13 QB hits, 66.8 PFF grade, 54th out of 114. And again, this is where I have issues with some of the PFF stuff there because he's actually got a higher rating than Kayvon Thibodeaux. For their career, we'll find out. But as of right now, if I needed one player on the field for the most important play of the season, hypothetically, I'm picking Kayvon over Abdul if they're both healthy. 100%.
Yeah.
But you got the let's elephant in the room here. Like it's the sleeping. And supposedly in a meeting, there's a picture today going around about that. There's the 2 team meetings he's missed or was late for, where he's gotten benched early in the last 2 weeks. Let me put it this way: it got so bad that there was literally a rumor going around Twitter last week that he was caught watching adult videos. I'll put it that way, so YouTube is going to upset with us. Adult videos around Twitter last week, and people actually ran with it and thought it was true at first. That's how bad it is that people are like that lines up. That seems to make sense. Like, that's insane. That just shows you how much people have seen the maturity issues. And Rob, you and I talked about this leading up to the draft.
We did.
We were upset first off with the injuries, which I'm glad he's been healthy so far. I'm glad I was wrong on that one because that was my big concern. You got a guy battling back-to-back injuries like that. But we talked about the issue with the tow truck driver. He literally ripped a guy out of his car that was just doing his job. And now we're shocked that he's got maturity issues as a rookie?
Yeah. We 100% said he was the guy that had all the talent. It was just his headspace. And he was at the wrong, especially with that. And there's other scenarios, but he illegally parked. Tow truck came, and he wanted to get violent with the tow truck driver.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's beyond maturity, to be very frank with you. And I feel like all he does when he's on the field, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to say this for a second. Give me a second to explain, because somebody's going to sit there and say, oh, well, that's stupid. This is what he's supposed to do. So give me a second, but all he does is go after the quarterback. And what I mean by that is what I talked about a minute ago. 1 tackle for loss. You're telling me all of the times that you're going into that backfield for the quarterback, you didn't run to the running back a couple times?
Maybe by accident.
You can tell about people sometimes by the way they play. You really can. And to me, what I see when I see him on the field is I see a really talented young player who could develop into an excellent pass rusher potentially. But he's playing selfish. I'm going to say it right there. He's playing selfish. Because what he's doing is he's trying to get stats. He's trying to get the sacks. And he's not playing both parts of defense. He's not playing against the run. This is an issue. And I don't know. I say we need a guy who's experienced to be the next head coach. Because this kid has all the talent in the world if he get his goddamn head screwed on right.
Yes. And part of it, he comes to the Giants. He gets terrible coaching.
Yes.
From his boss to his boss's boss, his boss's boss, to his boss's boss's boss. And everyone come out of the draft has told him, you're going to be the next Parsons. You're going to be the next Parsons. You're going to be the next Parsons. And you come to the Giants, and there's already 2 edge. There's already 2 edge players. Where are you supposed to play? What are you supposed to do? So that's already messing with your head. He's immature as it is. Now they don't have a Bone already came out saying he didn't have a plan for him. So where's he fit in? And it's just, you wonder why there's immature issues. Coach didn't want me anyway.
Yeah. You know what?
They should have sat him down as soon as he came in and said, hey, do the best you can, get everyone, and let's make this team work. You'll get the stats.
You know what he kind of reminds me of? The Temu version of Yannick Ngakoue. Like, he just doesn't play the run, and all he does is try to hit the quarterback. And he's just so far not been nearly as successful as Yannick has been in his career. And listen, he's young. He's still a young kid. Like, I was an idiot myself when I was his age. You know, I'm still kind of an idiot, but it is what it is. I think that you have the potential. You have the potential, if you can get his head screwed on right, to get him to be a good player in this NFL. I don't think he'll ever be a great run stopper. I mean, to be honest, that's part of why he's not a linebacker, because Penn State moved him to edge because of the issues he had, you know, wrapping up and tackling and stuff like that. But I still think he could be a really good pass rusher in this league. But we need that head coach that can come in and get the right attitude. We need leadership in that locker room, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We need it. You know? And I'm telling you, if he stays the way he is right now, let's be honest, he can double his numbers next year. It's still a bust. And everybody was screaming all training camp, this guy's going to be the guy. This guy looks elite. This guy looks amazing. He's unbelievable. No one can block him. And you know who are the only people I heard consistently saying leading up to that draft to avoid him? It's us.
Yeah, he could double his stats this year in the next 4 weeks. And you still say it's a bust. You still argue that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I know somebody's going to sit there and say to the Carter fan that, oh my God, he had a couple of sacks. He lost him because of Deontay Banks' DPI penalties and stuff like that. Because Anthony brings it up all the time, and it's valid. It is valid. Like, he legitimately lost sacks because of penalties. But you could add 2-3 sacks into his total, and you're still not impressed where he's been.
Yeah, give him 5 sacks. Right?
Yeah.
Now you sit there like, was that the potential you want from him? Like, right, we said be happy if he gets 7.5, 8.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
But he's going to finish the year off with 3.5.
Yeah.
And I don't want to blame it all on him because he has the best potential. Like, he had one of the best potentials coming out. Is his maturity. He needed the right leadership. That's just the right coach. He needed a leader in his life to say, get your head out of your ass and stop making these dumb mistakes.
Yep.
Some people need that. And he doesn't. He obviously doesn't have it in his life.
Jay asked the question because he said, if we redid the draft today, I would still take him. And he says, if we could redo the draft today without trading down, who would you take? Who would you take, Rob? Without trading down.
It's hard to say because, like, I still want to say Carter because he still had like some of the best potential. It's just I would also fire the coaching staff prior.
They never would have been
changed that. I would changed all that around.
So, you know what my favorite player in this draft was in the defense side of the ball? It wasn't Carter. It was Mason Graham.
I know. He's played well.
I would have taken, and he started off bad, but he's gotten better, and he's improved a lot over the season progressed. And you know what he is? A guy who would have clogged the middle and stopped the run. So, again, I'm not giving up on Carter. Let me be very clear on that. I am not giving up. I'm just frustrated, as I know a lot of people are, what we've gotten out of him so far. Hopefully I'm wrong, and he develops into a well-rounded, mature individual who plays both sides of the defense, run and pass.
I'm not saying he has to be mature.
Like everybody thought he was. I'd be very happy.
I'm not saying he has to get mature.
Oh, I'm saying it. Point blank, he's got to grow up.
No, he doesn't even have to get mature because a Giants legend was never mature when he played football, and he was one of the greats.
You know what, though? He was immature in ways that actually helped the team. Like, here's a classic example. Like the fact that LT literally got caught selling cocaine, and ladies of the evening will say, to opponents' hotel rooms the night before a game.
He didn't let them.
It's ironic. It's right. He got legal trouble for a girl of the evening, but he did stupid things, but he showed up and he played. and he played hard.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
you know what? Here's
He
the thing,
had some
though.
leadership.
Always-
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He was coached right with leadership. That's all Carter needs. I'm not saying it's going to be an LT. I'm just saying he needs the right direction. Like, take that stupidity and point it in the right direction and just let him go.
But I'm going to say this part, though, too. You listen, if he shows up with the talent that LT has, he can miss as many practices as he wants. I don't give a damn. And that's part of the difference is LT was the GOAT. He is the best player to ever play that entire side of the football.
But you didn't see that when he was making those mistakes. It was,
Who, LT? I was barely talking when he made those mistakes.
But I'm saying, his rookie year, do you say LT is the GOAT? You can't say that. You can't be doing these mistakes. Like, it's year one still. He had terrible coaching. He had a terrible defensive coordinator.
His rookie year, I was even born yet, LT.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you sat there and looked at how LT played, you're older than I am. So, like, you can make that comment all you want. I'm still younger.
I'm just saying,
you can't, like,
put a young card on me.
I didn't be like that. Like, you're sitting there and saying, like, I'm older. All I'm saying is, let's not get so harsh. Like, yes, we have to. Oh, God, I put extra spicy sauce on it. But I'm just saying, has he played up to what we want? No, not at all. But let's not sit there and say he's a bust. He's terrible. Like,
no.
Sometimes this position takes a year or two.
Yeah.
Sometimes this position takes a year or two to develop. You can't put a guy that has a lot of talent with a loose cannon as a mental loose cannon with a terrible head coach and with no leadership. It's just a recipe for disaster. That usually implodes. That's like, he needs a defensive head coach, or he doesn't even need a defensive head coach. He needs a great DC. Is what he needs.
He needs an adult.
Yeah, he needs an adult. He needs someone to put him over their knee and just make him boom.
I don't know if he needs that. That might be an HR issue, just saying.
He needs a daddy.
I'm just saying. So. But again, I'm not going to say he's washed up or like not there, and he's not going to be the player we thought he was going to be, and he's a bust and all this stuff. I am going to just sit there and say this has been a bust of a rookie year for him. And there's some scary signs. You know? Like, he should have hit the ground running, and he's not. He's the most talented defensive player in the draft, they said. He should have hit the ground running.
He should have. But we also had a DC that had no plan for him. How'd you want him to hit the ground running?
Then how is Brian Burns hit the ground running this year?
This year, not the
let me be clear. I'm not saying that 13 sacks to be second of the league. I'm just saying 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, let's also take a step back and realize that he's a rookie that has a head. He
get a head injury.
That's what I say. He's just not
make that step
right in the head at the if you want to say, like, he's immature. It's very safe to say, and sometimes he doesn't make the right decisions. He needs someone that tells him what to do.
And that's again why
he did not have that. He did not have that with Dable, and he did not have that with Bowen. And Bowen had no plan for him, and Dable wanted the DC to do everything because he's an offensive guru. So he had no leadership on where to go. So let's see how he plays next year before we all say, he's washed up and terrible or this, that, or because he turns around and gets 13 sacks next year. Are we going to say he's a bust? We're going to forgive him for
and that's why I'm not saying he's a bust. He's been a rookie year bust. I'm not saying he's a bust overall. He's been a rookie year bust. Like Deb said, he's a 3rd overall pick. He should have hit the ground running. He should have. That's what you expect a 3rd overall pick to do.
But Shane Bowen didn't even have a treadmill for him. That's what I'm saying.
I get it. I'm just saying, when I see a guy like Brian Burns busting his ass and succeeding, again, I'm not expecting Brian Burns numbers. I'm not. But what I'm expecting is do something. Getting close to the quarterback only works the first couple weeks. You know, like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Only works the first couple weeks. So, all right. Next up, let's talk about the only guy who plays the off-ball linebacker position. I love when they said off-ball linebacker. It's the middle linebacker.
Yeah.
The only guy that we're going to even talk about here, he's the only guy worth talking about. Let's be very frank with the hobnob group of weird people we've had playing this position here. Bobby Okereke flat out racks up tackles like a machine. But how often do you really see him changing games? We're grading whether he's a true centerpiece linebacker or just a volume producer in the middle of a way below average unit. Listen, 13 games, guys. 110 tackles. Like, that's impressive. Like, let me be very clear. I don't want to be a jerk about it with Bobby Okereke to a certain degree, because that's still impressive. 110 tackles in 13 games. Like, he's still got more to go. Like, he's going to be 150 tackles again, probably. 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 QB hit, and a 53.5 PFF grade. 63 out of 84 linebackers. I'm telling you guys, like,
PFF's way off.
This is, we talked about it last year. We thought he was having an off year last year. And we called him out a couple times even for not, running after, the offensive guys. And we found it later on, he was injured and trying to play through it. And we're like, okay, maybe we give him a little bit of leeway because he was trying to play through an injury. I don't see the effort this year like that. What I see is guys just kind of running into him. He's just there for the tackle because he's still smart enough to be in the right spot.
Yeah.
That's what I just see. Like, I feel like he's just compiling stats because nobody else is smart enough to be where they're supposed to be.
Yeah. And it's going to be a common theme as we go through this today. They had a terrible defensive coordinator, and you have a veteran that's in the middle. Yes. And where does our front lack in the run? Up the middle.
Yes.
Like, he's just a savvy veteran. And sometimes when they call a blitz, he gets down the middle. Like, there's definitely times for, that he was smart enough to get up front.
But he's not even up front. That's the thing. He's tackling guys five yards after they've already got the 5 yards. And that's what's upsetting to me in my end, because he's not aggressive. He's not running up to the line. He's not doing things he needs to do at that point there. And you got to get a little more aggression there. Like, I don't see that fiery passion from him. And I just don't like it. Like, here we go. Classic example. 17 tackles for loss in the last 29 games in before the season. Okay, that's 2 years of action. 17 tackles for loss. 1 this year. 1. 110 tackles. Just one of them behind the line of scrimmage. I just feel like, listen, he's not a sack guy. He's not a rusher. Like, I'm not worried about that part of it there. But I'm looking at the tackles for loss and showing me point blank he's not where he needs to be. Because as a linebacker, you should be able to hit into the hole at that point that a running back is trying to go into and stop him. Now, I will say this admittedly, because I always say this in general, and I want to be consistent on this. We don't know the plays. We don't know what they're asking him to do. There's definitely that aspect of it. For all we know, they're telling him, sit 5 yards back and just wait for him to come to you. Like, I don't know. I hope that's not the plan, but I just think he hasn't been the same the last 2 years. He wasn't the same player as he was that first year with us. And I don't know if it was him. He just kind of felt like he had to go ahead and live up to the hype. Or is it the Shane Bowen thing? Like, I don't know.
That's the Bowen.
Like, I just don't know at this point there, because you see it, you just see it there. And I mean, I just, it's frustrating because of how good he was. I mean, last year it was a back injury he had. Like, backs aren't easy to play with, guys. You have a back injury.
Well,
like, everything.
Backs are easy to play with. Backs injuries are not.
Yeah, like, that's just it can be brutal. And it was a thing he just rehabbed over the offseason. So it wasn't like a surgery situation or something like that. And with those backs, though, there's people that avoid surgeries. There's people that will hop on the table gladly. That's just two different personality types when it comes to that, because they never know what they can do or can't do before they go on to the night.
There's some people in the middle, depending on surgery.
I'm just saying. But
just say it too. As a guy, experience.
And there was people point blank that we heard about it, and this Deb brings it up there about potentially people wanting to get rid of him. That people wanted to go ahead and put Darius Muasau there, which is insanity. Muasau is nowhere near as good as Bobby Okereke. Let me be very clear on that. Like, I'm not hating on Okereke. I'm just being honest about what I'm seeing in the field from him. I think with Bobby Okereke, and listen, you don't see this move very often. Bobby Okereke is the guy that I feel like you got to kind of go like, you're not really living up to where we're at for you. We can't pay you what you want to get paid, what this contract calls for. Like, he's got to go ahead and figure out a pay cut. Because I'm telling you right now, if he goes on the open market, he's not making it. He's not making anywhere near where the Giants are going to pay him next year if he stays on. I'm trying to pull up his over the cap here real quick. His cap number next year is same as this year, by the way. $14.5 million. The Giants saved $9 million by cutting him. Get that number down to $10 million. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. The Giants could very sadly make that move like, hey, your value in the market is going to be about 8.5. We're going to save 9, cutting you. Take 9.5, take 10. Look, save you another year afterwards. It's like, otherwise we're going to cut you.
Yeah.
Financially, he's going to go, I'm going to take that deal and play my ass off and go somewhere else. Or, F you, I'm going to see what I can make on the market and lose out on the money.
Here's the problem I feel like is that you're going to run into. We have so many holes on defense right now. It's not even funny. And if you cut him, you're going to add another hole. That's the problem I see. Like, you already got to fix the defensive line. You already got to bring in corners. You already got to potentially bring in safeties. Do you maybe ignore the problem for 1 year and say next year we'll worry about it?
It's a problem. We've been doing that for the past how many years?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's bad. All right. Let's get into the corners here. Cool. And look at that. What is it, Rob here? We're losing him left and right here. First off, you got to start, of course, with Paulson Adebo. Paulson Adebo has the size, length, and flashes at rare times at this point. But between injuries, uneven tape, the patient's clock is definitely ticking. Is he a victim of circumstance? Or the Giants just one more shaky season away from making a very expensive decision that it's time to move on already from Paulson Adebo? Can't believe we're already talking about that 1 year into with them here. Not even a full year. 8 games so far. 58 tackles. 5 passes deflected. 1 tackle for loss. 53.2 PFF grade. He's ranked 89th out of 110 corners by PFF. 89th. He's supposed to be our CB1 guy. 32 teams in the NFL. Think about that. That means he's basically like third best on an average roster. That's how he's playing. And the biggest thing that concerns me, guys, is besides the fact you see in the game, the stats tell the tale here. 58 tackles in 8 games. I say it all the time with corners. I don't like them having high tackles. That just tells you people are catching the ball around them. You don't get a tackle as a corner unless you're near somebody with the ball. And your job is to stop them getting the ball. Means you failed. But you got to look at the fact that he's been dealing with the injury this year. The knee. Coming off a big injury. He broke his leg last year. I think he gets 1 more year. I think the contract kind of forces us to give him 1 more year if we wanted to or not. But you give him 1 more year. Can he get back to where he was with the Saints? And that's a little bit of a question mark. Hell, it's even a question mark where he really was with the Saints. He was a CB2 with the Saints. He was never a CB1. and I think that's what we got to hope at this point. Is he comes back next year, he's healthy fully, back fully from the broken leg, the knee injury he's had this year, and he becomes a better player again. But this is a potential issue here, guys. This is a big signing. This is one of the big signings of Joe Schoen this offseason. And Paul Thibodeaux has just hell with being a CB1. He hasn't even looked like a CB2.
Yeah.
You know, and that's an issue because you're paying him like a CB1. You're asking him to be a CB1. He's getting manhandled. He's not looking good. You know, and that's a concern overall. And I get it. He's an aggressive corner, and that's part of why he's also got paid a lot. They wanted the interceptions and all that kind of fun stuff, which, by the way, doesn't have a single interception all year. He was still better a cover corner with the Saints than he was this year so far. Like I said, we got to hope that it's the injuries. Again, coming back from a big one last year, having the knee injury this year. We got to hope it's the injuries.
Let's beat that at that horse. Also, terrible defensive coordinator. At least the Saints had some, like, they lost games, so at least they played.
But you know what I feel like? I feel like corner is one of those positions that you're either good at it or you're not. Like, you can say it's a scheme issue hypothetically, but you brought this guy in with this scheme. Like, Deonte Banks, well, obviously we'll talk about him in a minute here. Deonte Banks doesn't by any means get a pass. But you look at what's going on with Banks, and you say, okay, well, he was hired, brought on for a Winks defense, which was a press man cover, and now he's in his own coverage. And that's the part of the problem. And it's a valid point. We brought this guy in this offseason. We brought him in with this defense. Like, what the hell are we doing? So we can't really blame the scheme when it comes to corners to a certain degree. Now, I'll give you the 5-yard thing because we've been complaining about the fact that he's like the corners are playing deep. But I don't feel like it's like small catches. It's not like we're getting, death by 1,000 cuts here with these corners.
No, it's because
they're just not covering.
The Giants, because they're not set up in the right spot. How many yak yards against the Giants?
But I feel like, again, it's like I feel like you were in this system to begin with. This is the system you're supposed to play in well. Why would you sign with a team that you don't even fit in scheme-wise either? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's not a scheme thing with him. I think it's just, and again, I'm trying to be optimistic and hope it's the injuries and he needs the year to come back from the injury. We have plenty of examples of people that needed a year to come back. But goddamn, this was not a good look for a first season for him.
No. Terrible.
So, yeah. So hopefully he goes back to being the Paul Thibodeaux he was. Because even as a CB2, it being overpaid, that's what he was again with the New Orleans Saints there. Even as CB2, it's an overpay. But at least it's better than what he is right now.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next up, one of the few bright surprises for the defense this year. Because while everybody's been talking about the struggling corners, Cordell Flott has just gone out and played ball. He's quietly become the best corner on this team. And what happens here if the Giants do lose their best corner in free agency this offseason? Because that's what we're staring down the barrel of here, potentially, guys. 12 games, 37 tackles, 1 interception, 9 passes deflected, 3 tackles for loss, which is he's got 3 times the tackles for loss that Bobby Okereke has. Just throwing it out there.
Wow.
68.3 PFF grade. That's 30th in the league out of 110 corners that qualified. 30th. So he's a low end CB1 basically, guys, right now. This is quietly turned into one of the better picks of the Joe Schoen era, which is, I know, not saying much, but and he's the guy we were all like, who? When they drafted him in the 3rd round. It took him a couple of years to come around, but he has played very well.
Yeah.
I just worry we're going to lose him. Like, you think the secondary is bad now. You know, like, that's bad. That's bad to potentially get this guy to finally play good and finally have a guy that you developed. Like, let's be honest, the Giants developed this guy.
First defensive guy we developed in a long time. Like,
And
the secondary.
And let's be honest as well and say you didn't have a lot of, ability to think that he's going to be good, or you wouldn't have signed Paulson or Debo probably. Let's be honest and say that. If the Giants thought that Cordell Flott is what Cordell Flott has been this year, we all know they wanted Deonte Banks to play corner. We all know that. He would not have been, we would not have signed him. Just wouldn't have done it. And Jay just brought up the point he's younger than Darius Alexander too. And it's again, this is what I'm saying. And he's coming off his rookie deal. But this is a guy we got to find a way to sign him, guys. We have to find a way to get Cordell Flott back. With one caveat I will give. He's got to fit the defensive scheme of whoever we bring in. And I don't know necessarily who's going to be the defensive coordinator. We don't know who the hell the head coach is going to be. But that's the one caveat I'll give you is if the Giants say, you know what, he's just not a fit.
Yeah. Please don't bring in anyone that's not a fit to the defense you're trying to coach up.
No, but I mean, at the same point, he's played in both systems. I think he's more of a hybrid guy. I think he can press. I think he can zone. He can do both. I don't think he's dependent on either one. Whereas now we got a Debo who's mostly a zone coverage guy and Banks who's mostly a press man guy. Flott at least fits either one.
I'm just saying, it's just bringing guys that fit the new defense.
Yes. And hopefully Flott's one of them. Who would have thought I'd be so passionate about keeping Flott at the beginning of the year?
I know, especially like when we start this program. My God.
Yeah. We did not like the pick. Listen, he's developed. Give him the credit.
Yes.
So,
kudos. Golf clap.
Yes. Anyway, next up, the guy does not get any kudos. Deonte Banks was supposed to be the future of the secondary, but no interceptions since his rookie season, and attitude questions have turned this into a full-blown problem. We're asking the hard question tonight: is it time the Giants trade him while they still can? And let me be very frank in saying that really shouldn't be a hard question. Answer my own question that way. Trade him. Get rid of him.
For all you on audio, I'm sitting there doing the Uncle Joey, cut it out. Get rid of him.
Listen, 12 games, 4 starts, 27 tackles, 3 passes deflected, 2 tackles for loss. Here's his PFF grade. Again, I know people don't love PFF always, but this is going to solidify, I think, for a lot of people, what they all think probably already. 44.9 PFF grade, 109th out of 110 corners.
Terrible.
109th out of 110. God damn. Now, here's the problem. He's a first round pick, guys. He's on a guaranteed contract. The Giants can't just cut him loose and just let it go. He's got a $4.3 million. $4.3 million contract next year, guys. And if we cut him, it's fully guaranteed we get nothing back. What we'd have to do to save any money is trade him. You save about $2.6 million by trading him. And listen, I will trade him for a 7th round pick. I don't care. I just need him gone.
Give me an 8th round pick.
He's got some gripes with this team. Let me be very frank that he's not 100% wrong on. They throw him in a CB1 way too quick. They changed the scheme that didn't fit him as well. Like, some of his gripes are 100% there, guys. But it's the maturity issues. It's the lack of effort. Like, you even see that as a kick returner. Like, and let me be very frank, he's actually a better kick returner than a corner by far. But Watch when a guy like Gunnar Olszewski or anybody else gets the kickoff. You don't see him running out there to block people. He has no effort. And here's my own personal opinion of what I would do with Deonte Banks if I was the Giants. If I was John Mara. I don't want to say Joe Shane anymore because I hope he's not part of this discussion next year. I would bring him into camp. I would have whoever the new coach is sit him down and tell him point blank what the plan is even. And try to get some mentorship into him. And say, we need you to grow up. And if you don't grow up, here's what's going to happen. We're going to trade you. And we're going to trade you to whoever gives us the best value. We're going to do it right by the team. Which means you can go to a scenario you hate.
Yeah.
Do right. We're going to do right by you if you're right by us. Past is the past. And then you give him the training camp. And you see what he does. Because I really think that if you get him in the right opportunity and you get his mind right, at the very least, he's a backup that you can actually put in that's got some NFL experience. We have a lot of holes to fill. He can at least fill that one.
Ooh. And a hole plugger, if you will.
Yes. We have more holes to fill than I wouldn't do it.
I was going to say, it's a family program.
I won't do it. But
the Raiders.
And listen, you guys know I've not been a Deonte Banks guy. I have not been a guy who we were pissed off we drafted him. We didn't think he was the right fit. He was a guy that you went purely based on athleticism. And this is one of the issues the Giants have. They want athleticism. They didn't care about maturity. They didn't care about mental makeup. And that's what Deonte Banks is. 100%. A guy who is very athletic, doesn't have the right mental makeup, doesn't have the maturity.
There's a crazy girl that picked up from the bar and said you could save her to make her your wife.
But you know what? And you know what? I'm going to run with that analogy. 2026 could be his one night stand.
Ooh.
Not a long-term answer, but if you can get it going for a year right, you move on. Like, you're not going to pick up his option, obviously. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no.
But we have so many holes to fill. I'd like to find a way to salvage him for next year. But if you can't, and you find that out in camp, you cut bait the quick second you can. Point blank, you cut bait the second you can. You put him up in the block even when training camp starts and say, you know what, guys? We're going to take offers on Deonte Banks. We don't know what we're going to do with him yet, but feel free to talk to me if you're interested.
Yeah.
And the second you decide to move on, you move on. You take whatever you can get. You know, and I do think because of the pedigree, somebody's going to want him.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know, I just feel like somebody is going to take him. And I just hope the Giants are smart enough to set it up that way. So, all right. Let's talk about one more corner here. And I got to tell you guys, point blank, we're probably not even going to get to the picks here tonight. It looks like it's already an hour and 14 minutes in.
Woof. Unless we do a speed run.
We'll figure something out maybe later in the week or so, since we don't have to do the bye week thing or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Drew Phillips. An interesting one to talk about here because Drew Phillips hits like a freaking missile, guys, and always finds the football. But offenses are beyond starting at this point to test them. They're just doing it in coverage. He's on his way to being an incomplete defensive back is probably the best way of putting it there. So can he be a guy that we can depend on, or is he going to be the guy that that offensive coordinator is going to target? So that's the big question here. 13 games this year, 6 starts, 53 tackles, 2 interceptions, 11 passes deflected, 59.6 PFF grade, 68th out of 110 corners. So, yeah, much better than Deonte Banks, that's for sure. But again, you see the pros, you see the cons, they're on display. I feel like he's almost like the Dane Belton of corners. Good or bad, he's a part of the play. Like
Fair.
he gets the hands on the ball quite often and pops the ball out. He runs up and hits the linebackers hits the running backs like you want a linebacker to hit him. Like he's got that kind of force and just doesn't care. He's got the Cam Scattaboo there of Nichols, just doesn't care. Just runs right at these guys that he's given up 60 pounds on, just doesn't care. But he's not great in coverage. And that's an issue. Like you're a corner. You need to be able to cover. That's your number one responsibility. He's far from the biggest issue in this team, guys. We'd be very clear on that. And he's still young. He's still just 2 years in. So he's not a guy that I'm saying to give up on. I'm saying he's a guy that you give one more year to, and if he doesn't improve in coverage, you might need to look to make that change the following year.
Fair.
Or potentially, because we need depth, you bring in a guy that you think can challenge him. And worst case scenario, the guy's a backup. You know, and nothing wrong with that option. Sometimes people need somebody to drive them. Who's his real challenger on this roster? Who's it going, oh no, if I don't get better, so-and-so is going to take my job? Art Green? Is that who we're worried about? Art Green? Nick Jones?
Woof.
Like seriously.
Yeah.
This is why I have such issue with the depth and everything, and part of why I want Joe Shane gone. There's no competition.
We haven't depth in years.
There's nobody else there.
Yeah. When you come like to the Giants and you're like, oh, you're gonna be the starter, there's no competition. Like your backup's your backup. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And our
It's like you're saying, trade down, guys. Trade down to the draft. Get all the damn picks you can.
yeah. Let's
You need to draft like 20 players in the draft.
Perfectly okay with that. Give me depth. Save the cat. Give me depth.
Yeah, I mean that's where it's at. So listen, Drew Phillips again. He's part of the plans for next year. I'm not trying to say he's not going to be around. He's got to work his tail off this offseason. And we talked about it when we drafted him. He had some issues overall with his form, with his motions, with his hips, the way he flowed. And last year, he kind of got away with that. And let's be honest, he got away with it probably longer than he should have. Because you see it more and more this year. You see it more and more this year. And this was the exact concerns we had when he got drafted. Like, whoa, hold on. What? This is a guy as a project. We didn't have him as a third round grade. We had him like a fourth or fifth round grade. Because of that. He was a project. So you can't draft a project and then get pissed off when he's not good off the bat. So he's going to have to get a third year.
Yeah, he played better than what we thought his first year, and kind of settle into where we thought he was going to play his rookie year.
Taking a step back, I think. But definitely you look at it and you go again. We talked about it. You can't sit there and trust anything you see with your eyes with this scheme, with the way everything is, with the way the defensive coordinator has been this year. You can't trust it. So let's see if he improves. Got another month to at least get him more optimistic, that's for sure. So, all right, let's get into the safeties here, guys. Kayvon Holland flat out came in here with big expectations, but the production and stats just tell a different story. He's got a massive cap position looming after next year. We got to ask, is Kayvon Holland trending towards a bounce back next year? Or is he quietly becoming one of the Giants' biggest contract issues? 11 games in, 49 tackles, 1 interception, 5 passes deflected, and a 55.6 PF grade. He's ranked 76 out of 95, guys. 76.
Terrible.
Like, it's bad. And this, again, these two contracts, him and Paulson Adebo, we said it in the beginning, like, you're counting big on guys who didn't exactly have the best years the prior year. Javon Holland has been a guy who just hasn't lived up to the hype here, guys. We gave him 3 years, $45.25 million. Ton of money.
Too much.
Next year, his cap space is $18.6 million. That's his cap number. Because as usual, the first year's low. That's what a lot of teams do, obviously. So he's going to be on this roster next year, guys. Can't get out of this contract. But it's a make or break year for him next year, guys. If he doesn't play like up to what you're not even like full on expecting, like I think they overpaid for him. We said that when we got him that he basically paid Xavier McKinney the money to Javon Holland, and he's not as good a player.
Yeah. I mean, McKinney also went to Green Bay and has played great football.
Yeah. I gotta hope that this is a scheme fit issue. I gotta hope it's a scheme fit issue. Because he looked great at times in Miami. He looked like Pro Bowl caliber great at times in Miami. Inconsistent play, year to year even. Maybe this is just one of those bad years. Because you can't sign a guy who was good years, bad years, then get pissed off the first year we had a bad year. You signed on for this ride.
Yeah.
What you're getting. He gave you years of showing you what he is. But yeah, like I said, this could be honestly one of the worst contracts Joe Sheen's given if he plays like this again next year. Like he's literally playing like a third safety. It's the PFF grade he got. Again, PFF grade's not everything, but just saying, like that's just trying to put you in ranking here. It's bad. So we're hoping a lot on the Giants getting a new defensive scheme and everything being better. And we're going to have to kind of hope and pray in some of that kind of stuff there, guys, because you can't fix all these problems in one off season.
Yeah.
And these guys, like I said, because of the contracts, like Javon Holland, you're going to have to give him another year. You know, he's brought in here for one reason, guys, to be that cover safety. And I do think he's actually looked a little better the last couple weeks in that regard. But you still do see it at times being an issue. Hunter Henry had a big game last week, guys. Big game. He was the guy that's supposed to cover the tight end. Javon Holland. That's what we signed him for. Now, I will admittedly say that I have not watched the All 22 like I usually do. Because quite frankly, that game was so goddamn embarrassing. I don't want to watch it again. I won't even front and say otherwise. But that was supposed to be his role. So, you know, is he the worst player on this team? No. By no stretch of the imagination. But is he one of the worst contracts? Yes, as of right now. And that's the problem. So, we do, like I said, we save $13.8 million after next year if we cut him. He's got to impress next year, guys. He's got to impress. Let's get to our next one here. Tyler Nubin. Tyler Nubin racks up tackles, reads the run game pretty well, but he's still searching for his first NFL interception. I know. I almost dropped things when I saw that too.
Crazy.
Is it young safety growing pains, or is the ball production just not there and going to cap the expectations of what a ceiling could be? 11 games in, 10 starts. We lose Rob again. We lose you again, Rob.
Oh, I'm still here. You guys don't want to see me bend over.
No, we don't want to. 11 games in, 10 starts, 64 tackles, 1 pass deflected, 5 tackles for loss. He's ranked 72nd out of 95. So a little bit better than Javon Holland is the scary part. He's technically our highest ranked safety. Like, that's what he is.
Yeah.
And he was an absolute ball hawk at Minnesota. And he was the best safety in that draft. And admittedly, not the best draft for safeties overall. Like, it wasn't like there was elite safeties everywhere. God damn, has he not been nearly what I thought he would be. Like, I admit freely, like, we've got a pretty good track record on draft stuff, I feel like, for the most part, especially compared to some other shows, but we were wrong on him so far.
Yeah, there was a lot of hopes
A
and
lot of hopes.
excitement for that draft. It's just been Nugans, not Nubans.
I feel like what we need is we need to get a veteran safety this offseason who could potentially challenge him. That's what I feel like we need. Because it's not good enough. And we got to send those messages like, you're not playing good enough. Like, we got to figure this out. And if you can't figure it out, you're just going to have to figure out the bench. You know, like, it's been 2 years. Get your stuff together here. Because that's bad. And like I said, he'll be on the team all 4 years. Because he's a second round pick. He doesn't get paid nearly as much as some of the guys we talked about, like Deontay Banks. He never makes more than $2.6 million a year in his contract. Like, that's pretty damn good for a backup safety, even in that worst case scenario. Because he's not crap, let's be honest. He's not crap. He's just not good enough to be a starting level safety the way he's playing right now. He's more like the backup guy, your third safety. That's where he's playing at.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. And it's I think you're right. You have to bring someone else as a veteran. Like, whoever comes here as DC, bring a big pair and start challenging these players.
Yes. We know that wasn't happening on a regular basis. We know Dable was coddling every single goddamn player.
And Bone just didn't have the experience or fortitude too.
Or intelligence.
Be good with that
If he
too.
made the boneheaded moves, I have to question his intelligence flat out. Not to make it personal. It's not personal. It's just a statement. You know, like, I think we've got to get whatever secondary coach we get in this. The focus should be, when you look at somebody specifically for the secondary, is to bring a guy in who has a track record of exceeding with young guys, bringing in young talent and making them succeed in this league. And this is part of why I'm kind of interested in Shula. Look at a guy he did with Emmanuel Forbes, for example. You know, like, he did a really good job with a lot of young pieces in that secondary. We need a guy that can do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll see what happens. Again, I haven't given up on him yet. I've just been really disappointed in what he's been the first 2 years. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Really disappointed.
All right, guys. We got one more here for you that we got to talk about. Dane Belton. Listen, every big swing play on this defense seems to have one name involved, Dane Belton. Is that boomer bust style exactly what this unit needs? Or is it the reason that they can't get off the field sometimes at big moments? Or even a combination of both, let's be honest there.
Listen, it's a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah. It's the C, all of the above. 13 games, 5 starts, 86 tackles, 4 passes deflected, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 1 QB hit, 54.5 QB rating. Oh, it's QB rating. I'm sorry, PFF rating. 78th out of 95 safeties. So the crazy thing is, he's not doing much worse than Javon Holland, apparently, based on PFF grades. You know, obviously it's not all of it, but it's just where he is. But like I said, he's that guy that I feel like every time a big play happens, good or bad, he's there. Is it interception? Where's Dane Belton? It's a big pass knocked at a key point. Where's Dane Belton? It's a big play we gave up. Where's Dane Belton? It's a big run that we gave up and the safety took a bad angle. It's Dane Belton.
Yeah. How's a guy wide open and there was no secondary coverage? Oh, Dane Belton was on the side of the field. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's a decent backup player. I think that's where he's at. And I think we just got to accept to a certain degree that's what he is. And every so often he's going to make you think he's better than he is. You know, but I think he'd be a backup for somebody else next year. I honestly, it's the last year for his contract. He's another guy that's going to probably just go the wayside. And they'll probably draft somebody to replace him.
That's
I mean,
about right.
it's just where we're at with him, I think. I see Jay saying word of the street is he hates playing for us. I think everybody hates playing for us. Let's be honest.
Well,
If you're a guy coming off a rookie deal and all you've done is play for the last 4 years for the Giants, for all this crap of the Brian Dable, Joe Shane era, would you really want to come back?
I mean, he's had, 15, 16 wins in his career with us?
But it's beyond that. It's like, listen, I don't pretend to know every single industry. So, Rob, you can tell me if the vacuum industry has this. But there's that one place in a lot of industries that'll hire just anybody off the streets, basically. And everybody does their tour of duty and kind of learns from them.
We're looking at you, Dyson.
That's what I feel like people are going to treat the Giants like that are free agents right now. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy that 4 years in, he's probably like, I'm done with the dysfunction. I'm a backup. I'm not going to play forever. I'm going into the absolute prime of my career. He's 25 years old. He's Darius Alexander's age. He's going to be going for like a 2-3 year contract somewhere to be one of the backup safeties. Why would he want to deal with this?
No.
Why would anybody want to deal with this?
Leave Hoover, go to Dyson, enjoy the rest of your career.
And this is why I keep saying, go ahead and trade back, because quite frankly, we're going to have to overpay for anybody we get as a free agent, probably, assuming they don't get excited about whoever we hire as the head coach. That's the one caveat I'll give. Like, you hire a guy like Mike Tomlin. Tomlin's going to bring some Tomlin people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what he's going to do. You bring in, let's say, Chris Shula. He's going to bring some people over from the Rams potentially that are free agents. Yes.
And don't tell me any player in the NFL, especially on a losing team, wouldn't love to play on a coaching staff that's known for winning.
Yep. Now, I am going to throw this one thing out there. They're not coming here for Lou Anarumo. I just got to say that because I keep on hearing people mention him as an actual candidate. Because that doesn't excite anybody. That's not a sexy pick. And you got to revitalize this franchise, not just hire a guy who used to be an assistant coach for you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be like a jerk about it, because Lou's done his time in the NFL. He probably deserves a shot somewhere as a head coach. This is not the situation to bring another first-time head coach in.
No.
And that's my only knock with Shula, by the way, because he's actually all the first-timers. He'd be the guy I'd want the most. You couldn't get a proven guy. But this is when you need a proven guy. Try to get these guys in, get them excited. Because you don't think, like, if you're Dane Belton, you're becoming a free agent. You're like, okay, I'm done with this crap. Giants guy, Mike Tomlin. Oh, but hold on a second here.
Yeah. Or even Shula. You don't think,
like,
hey, 25 years? Fantastic.
45 years, it feels like.
That's what it feels like.
I mean, it's been like 20 years now, right?
I'm saying, like, you get Shula, first time head coach, but you get Sean McVay, like, proven track record. And you would feel like he would want to promote the people that's part of his tree, because that only makes him look better to entice more jobs coming.
Yep.
More top.
And I looked it up to verify, by the way. He's been the coach since 2007. So, yeah, Tomlin's literally been the head coach now for 18 years. Think about that. People are graduating high school right
18?
now. 18 years.
Oh, damn, that's it? Oh. Right.
So, think about it. People are graduating high school this year that have never seen a different coach, even in diapers, than Mike Tomlin. That's crazy to think about. Makes me feel very old, first off, but it's crazy to think about.
It's nuts.
And it's still
man.
53, by the way. Still 53. So
Last 5
All
years
right,
really
guys.
aged him.
listen, we're an hour and a half in, guys. I did not think we were to take this long talking about the defensive players, but I thought we'd have a chance to do this. So I'm going to promise you this, guys. We're going to do this. We're going to at some point get up a week preview. I don't know if it'll be just me, just Rob, both of us. We'll have to figure that stuff out because we were not anticipating that. But we'll get you another episode to get that in because it's almost 11 o'clock. Y'all got to go to bed. We got to go to bed. There's a lot of beds to be had.
Oh, yeah.
So, except Robbie's on the couch, but
Well, we don't know because we couldn't go over the picks tonight.
you did something else I forgot we said you were on the couch for. I forget what. You did something. Anyway, we will be back at some point to go ahead and look at that. Jesus, that official team garb, that Wandale, because of the T-Rex arms thing.
Yeah. Oh, to answer your question earlier.
Ball, I will catch it. Oh my god. Anyway, guys, we'll be back at some point here. We'll figure out that and try to get it up for you guys as quick as possible as far as our picks episode there, since we're going to do that separate apparently somehow, some way. But otherwise, guys, listen, depressing talk, right?
Yeah.
Don't
get defensive about it.
Talking about the defense, but it is what it is. Again, we'll be back for you guys on Monday for sure, and we'll be back at some point this weekend to give you guys the picks here. Jeez, thanks, I guess.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome, I guess.
I appreciate you guys for listening, watching. We are always, of course, live on YouTube, of course, the preferred platform, along with Facebook, Twitter/X, Twitch, and of course, Rob's favorite, my league. And of course, are available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all the big ones there. Listen, guys, appreciate you guys for listening, watching, supporting as always. We'll be back, like I said, at some point with the picks here and back Monday. Otherwise, there for you guys. Listen, enjoy the weekend off. I gotta say, I love watching the Giants play, obviously, even though I'm just love it less and less as the season progresses usually. But
yeah,
I love bye week because I can watch football, not to worry about my team specific. I can just sit on with the freaking red zone and just
with my ADHD.
Well, that's part of the problem I do. I'm the same way, especially because I'll come in here in this office actually and do it sometimes. So I'll have like one screen with red zone and 2 games going on top. It's just like, it's insanity. But
should we do this tonight since we're about to get off? Should we talk about the game tonight?
Whoa. I'm not about to get off for the record here.
Oh, well, it looks like you're sleeping on the couch.
I'm not that excited to be on the show tonight. But what were you saying?
I was about to say it's Thursday Night Football as we film this. Do you want to give our picks for tonight?
Oh, I guess we can do that, even though the game's almost over here at this point.
I know. Well, listen, I'm trying to give you kudos because I'm losing here.
Yeah, the Lions right now. Well, listen, it's not over yet. Lions right now are winning 27-19.
So set up for a
just over 12 minutes. You picked the Cowboys to win. You picked them to beat the well, they were not favored, so no matter what, to be the spread pick. And you picked the over. I picked the Lions to win, the Lions to beat the 3-point spread, and to be the over as well. So as of right now, I'm winning.
Over.
I'm winning the pick and the spread, but we're both losing the over under.
No, it's gonna hit.
Let's see what happens. Somebody got to score again. Now, let's say I see the Lions have the ball right now, so who knows? Maybe they get another score. That'd be nice.
They just kicked the field goal.
Huh?
They just kicked the field goal.
Did they?
Yeah, 30-19.
There we go. See, just like that. So now 30-19. So we still need one more score for the over. And at this point, I don't even care who, I guess, because unless the Cowboys get a touchdown and the extra point, I said the 2-point conversion, and they're down by a field goal, then, which makes it the push. Then you and me, you're both upset. Not cool. So it is what it is.
Touché.
Score another touchdown, Lions. Anyway, We'll see you guys there. Let's say at some point this weekend. Appreciate you guys for watching, listening, supporting as always. And as always, Giant fans. Go G-Man!
Go G-Man! Can't lose my week, G-Man! G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please,